Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Estancia Lapacho, the realistic series that we run in South America, somewhere. We think it's Argentina, although we're not actually sure. So, if you can see by the state of our grain silos here, we do have some rust patches, which are causing us some problems. It is rather unfortunate in that some of our grain has gone mouldy. It's this developing mold, and it looks like the mold has kind of spread through quite a bit of the grain. The damp in there has caused us all kinds of problems. And if we look here, it's the corn, actually the maize, the corn. This one here is not very good. Yeah, we've lost. The crop is damaged. It's not very good, and we are not going to be able to get a very good price for it. Yes, as you can probably realize, our random event this week is not particularly great. I rolled a 2 first, which gave us a crop 1, and then I rolled a 1, which is mold in the storage barn. Immediately sell the crop, which has the highest stored quantity for the lowest price available. So, 122,000 litres of corn now has to be sold, and we're not allowed to sell it for that wonderful price there of $1,222 per 1,000 litres, which would get us a very hefty sum. No, we have to take it to the transport company, and we have to sell it via the train for the $636 per 1,000 litres that it is now going for. Which is not great. This is not what we want. We really could do without it, because that's actually a really low price. The difference between the two is phenomenal. So yes, unfortunately, we do now have to sell our grain for the lowest price available. Now, I'm not sure if I told you I was going to do something with these bales or not between last week and this week. If I did tell you, I'm genuinely sorry, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. I don't think I did, but I may have, I may not have. I'm not really sure. Anyway, we can't really do anything with that at the moment. What we do need to go and do is we need to get this grain sold. Now, we have we need to get the train moved. So let's get the train first, and we'll get this one up to the one that's near the farm so that we can pick it up from there. If you look at the map, we are... Oh no, crumbs. We're all the way around at the lumber yard. And actually, now that I think about it, I mean, I suppose the grain elevator is over there. It's probably not much difference between going here, because we've now ploughed up the road in between the two. It's probably not any quicker to take this to grain elevator 3, where we took it last time, over near the animals on the far left hand side. It's probably just as quick to bring it over here and unload it into this one. So I think that's what we might do, actually. We might bring it over here and unload it into this one, and then we can take it from there. So we need to get the grain over here. We got 122,000 litres that we need to shift, which is not a small quantity by any stretch. I think we'll just back the train up a little bit just so that we don't block the road completely. We'll stop there. And, right, as soon as it stops, you're going to stop? Your own time, there we go. Right, there's that one. Incidentally, if you drop this one from a great height, if you turn the engines off from a great height, which I did at the end of the final episode last week, it drops right down through the map. So that's why I've had to reset it over here. And yeah, I don't remember if I said I was going to do something with that. We'll get back to the plough. We've got work to do with that one. This one over here has now finished this field, so we've got other fields that we need to start planting fairly soon, but we're not going to worry about that just for a second, because, like I said, we've got these other things. Now, the 2 trailers that we've got for the truck at the moment are sugarcane trailers, and you can't put grain in those trailers. So we've got this trailer here beside us. But what I'm wondering, I just need to double check the capacity of that trailer. I don't think it's very high. I don't think we've got a very good capacity on that trailer. I think we would, this one here, it does take it, but it's 32,000 litres. That's going to be 4 trips that we're going to have to take in order to do that. Whereas, I mean, that one there, it doesn't actually take the crop. So we can't use that trailer, unfortunately. So if we go back to the shop, we could really do with another tipper. I mean, I suppose, can we put that one? Maybe we could put the tipper that we've got, and then this one could go on the back. Maybe we could do it like that. I'm not sure, actually. We might be able to do that. We could take this... I think that's the wrong kind of hitch, though. I think that one is too low down for it to work with this trailer. I think you've got to have the... Yes, you do. It looks like you've got to have the higher hitch in order for it to work on it. We will try that, though. I know it's not ideal putting the bigger trailer behind the smaller one, if the smaller one is the turntable one, but at least it's better than nothing at all. So we will just try that one. Let's get this tractor underway here. I'll leave this trailer right here. I don't do anything. Oh, no. It does help if you remember that you've actually got to get out and undo the stuff here. Right, so we'll take that one there, and we'll run this one up, and we'll grab the 21,000 litre trailer up there. Because if we can use that one in conjunction with this other one here, it's 2 trips, I think. No, 120, it'll be 3 trips. 2 trips with both of them filled right up, and then 1 trip with just the one trailer. But I don't think we're going to be able to do this. I suppose, of course, the other option is to put Follow Me on. Maybe we could just sort of do both of them together, and we could try it like that. We'll see if that works. Back up there a little bit further, and right, so you will go on there, but I don't think you're going to work. I don't think this is going to do it. It'd be nice if it did. So this is the first thing that we've got to do this week. We've got no choice in the matter. We have to sell that immediately for the lowest price available. That is the price of these random events is that they do generally dictate what happens at the very beginning of the week's episodes. Sometimes this is a good thing, and sometimes this is not so good. Last week, obviously, we were busy cultivating up some crop, which wasn't great, but it could have been a lot worse. Now, this one here, I don't think... Yeah, that was really badly done. I'm getting a little bit better at reversing these trailers. I'm still not very good, though. I'm actually turning the wrong way there. I need to be turning that way, like that. So at the back end of it slides over a little bit. Let's not go too enthusiastically. There we go. And then I can bring that one round. Is that going to go? That is actually the right spot. That's where it's got to be, but I got a feeling that it's not going to work anyway. I think it's in the wrong place. It's the wrong hitch. Yes, it's not going to work. Okay, so we can't do it like that, which means that we've got to put this trailer... Have we got a tractor that we can use for this? I don't think we have, actually. I think we're just going to have to do this a few times. I think we'll just we'll bring this one in here. And we'll unhitch this trailer right here. We'll leave that one there a second. We'll use the smaller one. I mean, the only other option is to get like another trailer in behind. Oh! No, I think that trailer there... Oh, no. That trailer does go on the other. What's the capacity of that trailer? Let's just see what the combined capacity of the two is. Come on, garage. There we go. And you are 8,500... no, actually, the 2 trailers together is still not going to exceed the capacity of this one trailer over here, because the other one is 21, so that's 29.5, whereas this one is 32,000. So this trailer is the better option. So we've got to take this one, and we've got to do 4 trips. That's what it amounts to. We've got to do 4 trips. We've got to run this all the way over the train, and then we're good to go. So then we can take it from there. We'll have to run it up round the train and sell it immediately for the largest amount of money that we... the smallest price going. Soybeans, corn, there we go. We start that one loading up. Right, so my question that I asked you all last week was our new field that we've got. We've got this big field over here. We've ploughed it all into one. If I just quickly go over to growth, there we go. Busy cultivating it all. I said, did you want me to go round with the plough again and give this one a natural curved edge on the field, or did you want me to leave it square just as it is? And we had full already. There's a little bit overfill on the front there. I should have watched that a bit more carefully, I guess. But yeah, we had 1,763 people answer that question. 475 people said leave it as it is with a square edge, and 1,288 people would like me to go and revisit the field with the plough and give it a more natural curved edge on it. So that's what we'll be doing. And we'll do that fairly early on this week so that we've got that out of the way. We're still going to be carrying on with our area down there that we've got to concrete over. We're not going to go straight in and concrete it, though. As you wouldn't just go straight in and concrete over grass, I'm not laying concrete down straight away. We're going to prepare the base. Now, the closest that I can get to a decent base preparation here is I can't go in with an excavator and scrape back all the topsoil, and then you'd put down some sand and you'd sort of pack that in with a roller and so on. We can't do that. So what we'll do, just to sort of like give it some kind of preparation work so we are at least doing something towards it, what we're going to do is we're going to go over it with the plough, and then we're going to go over it with the cultivator so that we've at least prepared something So we've done some work to the surface before we throw the concrete on, and then we'll put the concrete down and put some sheds on. So that's our plan for that. But after I've done that, and our plants, so all our fields will be just about finished planted by then. We got a couple more fields still to do, and we're going to be looking at getting a different seed drill, possibly. I've had a few people suggesting that I should use the base game horse seed drill, like the one that I'm using in the time-lapse series, because it's a good all-rounder. It takes fertilizer as well. It's a direct drill, and it's bigger than the one we've got, but it's not too big. So it's actually like it is a really good one, and it works really well. So quite a few people have suggested that, so I think I might actually do that. We might use that horse one, just the standard game one, instead of getting anything particularly special. So we'll probably get that one, and we'll use it for doing the big field rather than having to worry about anything else. Once everything's planted, we're then going to start work on the new field, which we want to make. Now, we were talking about this previously. This was a question. I said, did you want me to build a field here, or did you want me to build a field here and just cut down the trees around this area and turn these two, combine them together and add more land, and basically turn this into a bigger field up here. And this is where you want me to work. You want me to work up here, because you said a load of the other YouTubers have done it down here, so we'll go up here for a bit different. But my question is, I'm going to be taking out a whole load of trees, so that's going to be our next major task that we're going to do. Once we've got the planting done, that's all dealt with, then our next major task is we're going to go up and we're going to start work on that field. We're going to get out the tree harvesters, or tree harvester, and we're going to cut the trees down and so on and so forth. My question is, do you want me to sell the logs as logs? Do you want me to get the palm trees with the tree harvester and we'll chop them down and sell them as logs? I'm probably going to use the automatic tree harvesting mob that we tested in Broadacres last week, because that one did actually work out to be pretty good, and it can be it's done fairly realistically as well. So we'll try that one to get the optimal lengths into our trees. So do you want me to do that and get them as logs and then take them over to the sawmill and sell them as logs, or would you rather I used some sort of wood chipper there on site and turned them into large piles of wood chips, all the trees, shred them up and turn them into wood chips and sell the wood chips? Now, if we've got trees that won't go into the tree harvester, we will turn those into wood chips. So, you know, we could sort of do some wood chips. There's not very many over there, I don't think, that will need wood chipping. We could sell them as long logs. So it's up to you. Do you want me to do everything as wood chips, or do long logs with the ones that we can and then sell the rest as wood chips? So you got two options: all wood chips, or sell as much as we can as big long logs. It's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. So I am going to continue on with this. We'll just get another load going in here. So we've got 90,000 litres left. Yeah, we got another 3 trailer loads to go, yep. And then once we've got all of this into the train, we can run it up to the top and we will be selling it for the lowest price currently available on the market. Now remember, we're doing this because everything has gone mouldy in the storage. The area that the corn was being stored in has had water coming in, and so the corn has been damaged. There's mould in there, it's black and horrible, and there's bits of it that are proper stinking. It's now, I don't know if anybody has ever seen in a real life grain store and seen when the grain gets wet in a corner. It does happen, and it doesn't normally, you know, ruin the entire stored crop. That would only happen if you had like a big hole in the roof and it was sort of dripping down over all of it, which is what happened here, obviously. Otherwise we wouldn't have to be doing this. But yeah, if you ever actually go into a grain store and you get an area that has got this, like a patch of wet grain, it absolutely stinks. It's nasty stuff, it really is. You wouldn't think that grain could stink that badly, but I mean, like wheat or barley or anything like that, it reeks. It really does. It absolutely reeks to high heaven. It's awful. It is absolutely nasty. Now, I've worked on farms a lot of my life, and you know, I've smelled all kinds of things. Manure that comes out of cows, yeah, you've got the straw, you've got the cow dung, it's all mixed together and everything, and spread out on the fields. I don't think that smells very much. You know, it does have an odor about it, but I don't find that odor unpleasant. It's just kind of associated with farming. I've never found that particularly unpleasant. Pigs can stink a bit, mind. Pigs and chickens, if you've got a lot of chicken manure coming off, especially if it's kind of is washed out, that can stink pretty bad. And silage effluent, which is when you first make silage in a clamp, you'll get this juice running out of it, which is it's the juice that's all running out of the grass, and that's called silage effluent, and that stuff can really stink. That's nasty. That can be really nasty. You get that on your skin or on your clothes or anything, it will stink for days. It really will. Your skin will smell bad for days. That's that you'd think that was kind of as bad as it gets with farming, but no. Apparently, a bit of grain has gotten damp. That sort of trumps the scale. I mean, not everybody is going to find that as the most unpleasant smell, but I certainly do. It's awful. It's absolutely horrible. I hated it. That's probably the worst smell that I ever used to encounter in farming was rotten grain. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it. It would just kind of catch. It feel like it's burning your nasal hairs. It's really, really bad. Anyway, so I'm going to go and get the rest of our stinking grain, and we're going to load it onto this train, and we're going to sell it off to some poor, unsuspecting customer that doesn't really know what he's getting himself in for. I was just thinking, we do actually need to get the seed drill going again, because we haven't finished doing all of our planting. Is it that field? No, it's not. We've done that field. We've got wheat and barley planted up here, but what we haven't planted yet, we haven't started on the canola, which is the field straight down in front of us, and then field 1, which is a small field up at the top. So we've still got those two to do, so I thought, well, I'll just run out here and we'll get this started a minute. So I'm just going to line this one up down here and start that one off there. I'm just going to run over to the truck. We'll grab that one and we can reload the seed drill. So this will mean that we've got everything planted right across the farm. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to try and get everything planted all at once. We don't have fertilizer in here. That is something that is on our to-do list, is getting all the fertilizer over and loaded up, because I did want to try to avoid doing it with just getting the pallets and going up beside it. I wanted to go and get a trailer load of pallets, bring them back and do it that way. So it is something that I want to do. It's just not something that I've been able to do just yet. So I'll just move that one up there a little bit. You can stop there, and we'll start this one up, and then we can get that tractor and trailer back over to... Let me close that one over for a minute. There we go. Yeah, the tractor and trailer is just down there. He's loaded up again. We get it back over to the train, and we can get the next load unloaded. I got the plough back at the yard, haven't I? So I could go and grab the plough next. The big plough, not the small plough. We'll be using the smaller green plough, the Amazon one, for like doing the edges of this area that we're going to be ploughing up, ready for our new concrete. But I mean the bigger plough, and we'll use that one for putting in this curved natural edge around the field. I think that one would work better for doing this. And I'm not going to go too big on it. I am going to go a little bit out, so we may have to do a couple rounds around the field with it. But generally, I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to get right tight to any edges, because otherwise it's going to become more and more... It's going to make it increasingly difficult to do any actual field work the bigger we go. So obviously, if we can keep it sort of reasonable, we're not going to go too close to the main road or anything like that, so that the tractors can still make their turns, and it's just generally going to make life a little bit easier for us when we're trying to continue on with our general farming tasks that we need to keep going. So let me just bring that one over there, and that's the button I'm looking for, right there. And there. I wanted to get a good look at this one tipping. It does look... There's one thing I don't like is the way that... I mean, I love the animation that we now have coming out the back of the trailer, but if you look up, you still see that like solid lump, and it doesn't move. It stays there. I'd like to be able to see a more realistic animation coming out from the tipping. I don't know how difficult something like that is to create and code and so on, but I think it would be very cool if you could have that one, just that tiny little detail added in, just for like some more added realism to it all. I think it would be pretty cool if it would just, you could see the whole load tumbling out rather than just moving from a set kind of fill plane to an animation just on the very back door. Bringing the final load up there now, and then as soon as we've tipped this out, we can go and take that train all the way up and sell that load, and then I'd like to get back as quickly as possible and we can start the ploughing. Alright, get that load tipped there, and that job is finished. There we go, up it goes. In your own time. This thing takes forever, doesn't it? Right, that's done. Now that that's tipped out in there, we can go over to the train. I probably should have started emptying this out sooner. How do I get in? How do I get in? Where have you got to go to get into this train? All the way up to the front. Oh, I see. That would make sense. Right, now we can go into this one. We got 122,000 litres of corn. I think the actual train itself takes 120,000 litres. So we got 2,000 litres that will go into the back one. So we'll start this one up. And what are we on? $627. And that's on 122. That is heartbreaking. That really is. That is a fraction under, it's a fraction over half of what that one is there. That would, it is frustrating. I mean, I like the idea of this random events. You know, things do go horribly wrong sometimes, but at the same time, it's also getting a little frustrating in places, you know, where we're having to cultivate in some of our crops and we're losing different things. So this is costing us an absolute fortune, this one. This is a very, very expensive one that is costing us now. We'll see what we get. We essentially double it up for what we could potentially have had from this. It also means that we now have no corn in storage at all, which we kind of want to get back because, you know, we've got all those pigs up there. We want to do something with those pigs, but we can't activate them yet. And I will be asking you fairly soon how long we should leave it before we activate those pigs and get them started up. I'm thinking that we'll leave it a few more weeks yet before we start into them. So there's 120,000 litres of corn. I just need to inch forward a little bit further, get the other 2,000 odd litres, and we are away. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I want to do R. R is the one that I want. There we go. Start that one up. Last little bit, and we're away. Right, let's get this one all the way around the map over to the train sale point. And I started slowing down way too late on that one. But I could sell the back one first, I suppose. Actually, I did manage to get it to stop on the very back one, but so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, timing was a little bit out on that one. Let's just go up to that point. You know, I suppose technically we should sell the lowest amount first, so that we get the lowest price possible. So we've just sold that little bit, and that's now on 624. So then I back up a little bit. So there's 1,780. Back up a bit, and then we go to there. And dump that lot out. That lot out? No, that lot. Oh, I don't know what I was trying to say there. I'm going back over looking for possible words that I thought I was going to say. And 74933. So he's 75. Roughly $76,000. 76 and a half. So we've essentially lost seven. You know, if we take in, you know, a little bit, roughly, you know, give and take a bit here and there. That's just cost us 75 grand. That's what I'm trying to say here. We've just lost $75,000 because a little bit of water getting into grain storage. Yep, that's farming for you. So I need to go and put some more seed into the seed drill a minute, and we also want to take this one out. I want to do this little bit of ploughing. I think what we'll do, we'll worry about the seed drill in next episode, in tomorrow's episode, and we'll at least just get the ploughing started with this one, going around the outside of that field, because I want to get that done fairly quickly so it's out the way. We've already spent long enough on that field. I want to get started on ploughing up that little patch so that we can get our concrete down. And hopefully, all going well, we will get the concrete poured this week. Now, technically, we don't actually pour the concrete. We go over it with a roller, and it magically puts the concrete there. But I personally, that's one thing I don't like about this game. I would love to have the hard work involved with pouring concrete somehow represented in the game, which is why I'm at least doing the ploughing and the cultivating there before we start. I've done this in real life. I've laid down a concrete yard before, and not only do you have to scrape everything back, you pour sand out and you get it all pounded down in place with vibra plates and stuff like that, rollers, whatever it is you're going to use. Then you got to pour the concrete. It's not just a case of pouring concrete. You've got to be tamping it and moving it and getting it all leveled and flat and everything. It is really, really hard physical labor. It's is tough. It's really hard, tough work to do. It's genuinely difficult to do. Just physically, it's really physically demanding to do that job. And there is nothing in the game that kind of gives you any indication of just how much work is involved with pouring a concrete yard. You know, literally we just slap a roller on the back and away we go. And yes, it's great that we can do it, but to me it does not represent real life anywhere near what it should. It is genuinely tough, and there is nothing in here that kind of gives you any kind of indication of just what you have to go through in order to achieve such a thing in real life. If you ever can, and anybody who watches this series, I urge you, if you're ever able to do it at any point in real life, if you're ever able to go and help someone make a driveway, pour concrete on a driveway or something like that, just anything like that, go and help. Go and spend a day just kind of helping out with something like that, some sort of building task like that. I would strongly urge you to, to go and do it. Go, give it a try. Try it out. See what it's like. Experience that for a day, and then, it gives people an understanding of just what is involved when you've actually physically experienced it. I'm saying this because I have a friend of mine who is a builder, and he was saying to me recently that he had a customer complaining about something that he did. He did a driveway for someone. He just did this stuff for a driveway for them. And, yep, that's great and all. However, the customer was complaining that the job wasn't done right, and, it should have been poured a different way, or some such thing. But, it was all laid out quite carefully what the plan was to start with, and he'd made it quite clear what the idea was, what they were going to do at the beginning, and there was no sort of foul play involved. He's brutally honest, this bloke. He's always honest with everything that he does, and he was upfront. He was honest. He said everything that was going to be involved and what would happen. And the customer's request, he said, this is going to be rather difficult to do it like this because of slopes and angles and stuff. He doesn't recommend it. It's not going to come out very well. It could almost certainly result in concrete being cracked. It will in places because of how you're supposed to put joins in the concrete when you pour it and stuff like that, and the customer didn't want the joins and so on. And then obviously the concrete cracked because the customer wouldn't listen to the experienced builder. The customer knew best, and he was not going to have it. So concrete cracked, and then he's got complaints coming in about this cracked concrete and so on. And there's not really a lot that he can do about it. He made it absolutely clear, and he wrote up a contract beforehand to state that if this did happen, he was not going to be held responsible. He's stated quite clearly what the issue could be and how it could affect it, and he was strongly recommending that it did not go ahead the way that he said, but the customer is taking him to court, or threatening court anyway, because of saying that, well, he did it wrong because he was cutting corners or some such nonsense. But anyway, the customer's been coming up with all kinds of comments about how easy it is just to throw a bit of concrete down, and just anybody can do this, and so on and so forth. And those are the comments that have sort of well, I wouldn't say like really upset my friend. You kind of expect this after a while. People do kind of say these kinds of things when they're trying to get money out of you and so on. But he said that's the kind of comments that you get, and it just proves that people have got no idea of what's involved with like making a concrete or a tarmac driveway. So I believe you guys in the States call it, is it asphalt or something like that? We call it tarmac anyway. What you have roads with, the black stuff. Blacktop. That's what you call it, blacktop. Well, obviously not everybody calls it blacktop, but yeah. So basically, his was a concrete one. This was concrete. This is why there was trouble, because with tarmac, you don't have to put joints in it. Obviously, you never see the joints on a road. But with the concrete, you do have to put joints in or it can crack, and this guy was adamant there wasn't going to be any joints in it, and any idiot can just throw down a bit of concrete, and so what are you complaining about? Just get on and do it. And so the concrete has cracked. And so yeah, don't be one of those people that it's so easy with a job that you don't understand. You just sort of look at the surface of it, and it's like, well, all you're doing is the lorry's turning up, concrete is going on there, and then that's it. It's just kind of been spread out a little bit. Until you've actually gone there and you've experienced it yourself, firsthand, experienced the sheer, hard, physical labor involved with pouring that concrete, with having it poured out and getting it into the right place and moving it around and everything. It's, you know, it's very, very easy to say, oh yeah, he's just, you know, slopping a bit of concrete down, he's spreading it around. But there's so much more to it than that. It's a genuinely tough, difficult thing. And it's not just that. There's so many other jobs as well, you know, to do with farming, to do with building work and things like that, that people just don't fully grasp exactly what goes into it. You don't understand, because you don't see what goes on in the background. You see someone has a new floor put down, and you think, oh yeah, and you sort of look at the floor, well, yeah, okay, so they've just chucked a few of these down on the ground, and that's it. Yeah, it doesn't quite work like that. It's not just a few things being chucked down the floor. I'm wondering if I've gone out too far here. I've sort of moved it. I've tried to keep it straight-ish going up the side so that we don't have too much trouble when we're turning. But I'm wondering if I'm a little bit too close to the railway there for when we're doing around the edges. We'll see. We will find out. I'm going to turn this one now. I know I'm turning quite sharp with the plough, and it is quite a sharp corner to turn with the plough, but it's going to give us our natural curved edge. And then we're going to take this one up to the road once we get over this side. So we'll sort of stay straight-ish along the top, along here. And then we'll go alongside the road all the way down that side over there. So we do actually have quite a chunk, yeah, along that side and along the top here. There's quite a big slice of extra field that we're making up now. And this is going to make quite a difference when we come to actually planting and harvesting and everything. We're going to have a lot more land here. Plus, we're going to be making all the extra land at the top. We're going to have loads of land by the time we finish this series. We really are. And so I'll bring that one down along there. But yeah, if you've ever got the chance to go and spend the day with a builder and just kind of help out with, you know, just the small tasks, just fetching and carrying stuff for the builder. Generally, that's what they want. Unskilled labor. If you're going to go and spend a day with a builder, they will just have you fetching and carrying things. And that alone is a lot of hard work. Trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about. I've done this for a few years. It is hard work, and it gives you a much better appreciation of what goes on behind the scenes. And I really do think that a lot of people should do this. And I mean, personally, I'm with my builder friend who's often believed that any customer, before they should be allowed to employ the services of a builder, must go and spend a day with a couple of builders first, so that they fully appreciate just how much work goes into all of this stuff that they want done. So when they come out with things like, oh, can you just, they will understand why the builder might get annoyed with, oh, can you just? Because it's never, can you just? There's no such thing. When you're doing it, it's not a case of, oh, I'll just nip over and do this. There's a lot more to, there is a huge amount more to it than that. But people don't generally appreciate that until they've actually experienced themselves, and a lot of people will never experience it themselves. And so, yeah, he's always been of the opinion that anybody who is employing the services of a builder ought to go and spend a day working for a builder first, so that they can just find out what exactly it is that they're asking, so that they don't get too sort of snooty with you and snotty with you when things don't quite go according to plan, because, you know, things very rarely go according to plan, don't they? But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I was just thinking about that with the concreting that we're going to be doing, and you know, I know just how much work is involved with pouring a concrete yard. I've poured a concrete yard before for a farm, and a big open yard like that, if you're pouring that, there's a lot of work involved in that we are not even going to come close to covering. So I feel that doing the ploughing and the cultivating there first is at least sort of a step in the right direction. But anyway, I have whittled on for far too long today, so we're going to wrap this up. We're going to have to do a little bit more of this next time. I think I may have time to do a bit in between time. We'll see. I don't know if I will, to be honest. We might try and finish this up at the beginning of the next episode, and then we can get straight over and start on the yard. We've also got to get fertilizer back so that we can get that seed drill reloaded and get that one going again. That's on our to-do list as well. And then, yeah, so the work is never ending. Our long list of work is never ending and ever growing longer by the look of it at the moment. But anyway, so the question for this week: when we start enlarging our field right at the top of the map, when we start making a really big field that we're going to do up there, what would you like me to do with the timber? Would you like me to turn everything into a massive, great big pile of wood chips? We'll try and stick it all in one great big heap all together, if that's what we do. So we can either turn everything into one huge, great big pile of wood chips and then we'll load it all up into some. I think we can load it into the 2 trailers that we've got for the truck. I think that one takes wood chips. Load it all into that, and then we'll sell it all straight away, whatever price we're going to get for it. We'll just go for it. Rather than sort of holding on to it for ages and ages and hoarding it, we'll just load it all up and we'll sell it. We could get some conveyor belts and stuff up there, get that set up, and try it like that. So we could either do that, or we could sell the timber as long logs. We could get the tree harvester, and we could get all the long logs out of that field, out of the area, and then sell all of them as long logs, and then the other trees, the ones that are going to be a lot shorter, we will turn those into wood chips. So which would you like to do? Would you like a load of long logs and sell those as logs and a few wood chips, or do you want me to chip everything up into one massive great big pile? It's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. And if you enjoyed the episode, please head down below and give me a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar, goodbye and see you later.